Good morning. So I'd like to tell you my story. God surely has a sense of humor because I'm a middle child, an army brat, and a preacher's kid. Yeah. My personal trifecta. And my story has always been that I was a victim and a survivor. I was a victim at my father's hands of all kinds of abuse. And that abuse created a hatred within me that just festered. And when my brother committed suicide, I took all that hate and turned it inside to me. And so for the next 20 or so years, I just tried to slowly kill myself with drugs and alcohol. And now I can say I survived that too. But that keeps me in that same story. But that's not my story. It's not. And so I've been thinking, well, if it's not my story, it's been my story all this time, well, then what is my story? And I've been looking at that, and I've made some connections between the facts and what I like to call the capital T truth. Because there's another side of the story in my life that I haven't told you about, and that's my mother, who's here today. Would you stand up, Mom? This woman is a woman of amazing grace. And her heart has held pain and sorrow, and yet it has a depth of love I can only aspire to. And her relationship with God is an inspiration to me because it's a daily walk that frames everything that she does. And she loves me unconditionally. Unconditionally. And I'm sure some of you are going, oh, she's probably tested that boundary a time or two. And I have. You know, I was the tomboy. I was always on the fringe in the family, the nonconformist, the radical, the activist. I wore all of that proudly. And she just always let me be me. Now, she only gave me dolls once. And after I sold them to my sister for turns at the dishes, she saw what I needed, and so the next year, I got a cowboy outfit. Not a cowgirl outfit, a cowboy outfit. Yeah, had a ricochet rifle, had fringe on my gauntlets, right? Next year, full-on commando camouflage. A little plastic tree up on my helmet and a canteen on my belt. Yeah, she knew what I needed. And I would come home filthy from playing marbles, because you got to lay down to, get your eye right and win, which I did. And she would never be unkind when I would come in looking like that. She would just say, change for supper. Yeah. She always just let me be me. Now, when I was 11, despite my Southern Baptist indoctrination, I came to her and told her that I had decided that God came to everybody in a way that they could understand. And if you were a little Chinese girl, you got Buddha. But if you were a little girl in Alabama, you got Jesus. And she did not call me a heretic. She did not tell me I was going to hell. She just said, okay. Again, letting me be me. In my 20s, I came out as gay. 20 years later, I came out as a gay polygamist. Yeah, I've got 2 wives. Do you know what she said when I finally told her that? This is astounding to me. I never promised to understand you. I only promised to love you. Right? That's my girl there. And as a Southerner, I know all you Southerners in here know that the kitchen table is a place of meaning because everything happens around the table. And what she's told me my whole life is that I could never do anything to make her cut off my corner of the table. I believe that we incarnate by choice. And that we incarnate in groups. And the souls in that group agree to love and support and sometimes do really difficult things so that another soul can grow. So I'm like, well, why would I choose this life? Why would I come here into this family? Well, I did choose it, and I did come into that family. And what I know is that, and believe, is that my mother chose this family to be the unflinching face of love. And my father, who lived what I thought was a sad and lonely life, chose to be reviled by his entire family so that we could understand the true meaning of love. And he gave me the gift of learning to forgive. And he wanted my forgiveness way, way, way before I was ready to give it. And once I was ready, because of illness, he was no longer lucid. And even though I forgave him, I never called him Daddy, ever. But I've spent over a decade in this church, and I've sat with the teachings of Ernest Holmes and Emma Curtis Hopkins. And through the help of Spirit that is often disguised as my mentors, like Kathy Ann, Jane, Diane, and myriad other people in this congregation, I not only have forgiven him, truly, but I have taken him into my heart, and I hold him dear. And I thank him for the gifts that he brought me in this lifetime. And I have put him on my altar, and I call him Dad. So my real story is that I am a living testimony that love is the only answer you ever need. Thank you.